Hi guys, today we are making the double welt pocket. The first thing that you need are two pieces of strips 2.5 inches long by 7 inches and two bigger pieces of strips 7 inches wide by about 6 inches long. You also need two pieces of strips. This is buckram I'm using. If you do not have buckram, it's okay to use interfacing, any type of interfacing, and you would press that onto the two pieces of strips. For interfacing, you can press it onto the entire 2.5 inch by 7 inches. The first thing that you're going to do is to draw a straight line on your fabric at the position where you desire to make the pocket. We're going to make our pocket 4.5 inches wide. This line was drawn on the right side of the fabric. So you would draw it on the right side of your garment where you place in the pocket. Now you get your first piece of strip and align it with the line that you have drawn. So place the edge of it right up next to the line. You get your first piece of buckram, or if you didn't use buckram and you used interfacing, then you have nothing else to place because the interfacing was already attached to the strip. Now you are going to stitch 1/8 of an inch inwards from the line. Actually 2/8, a quarter of an inch inwards from the line. That's away from the line towards the left edge of the strip. So you're going to start immediately where the 4.5 inch mark begins and end immediately at the 4.5 inch mark. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side with the second piece of strip. So when you are finished, the space between both stitches should be 1/2 inch, or if it's 5/8 of an inch, that is fine, but you don't want it to be too big. See where both stitches are lined up evenly at both ends. Now I'm just cutting off the extra buckram that's there. The next thing that you're going to do is to fold the fabric and make a notch right there in the center where the line was drawn, and then you're going to cut up towards the end, but do not go to the end. Leave about 3/4 inch, and then you turn and make a V like a notch, and you're going towards that point where the stitch was, but leave off 1/8. Do not go exactly up to the stitch. And you do the same thing on the other side. So what you have there is a little V in the middle. We're going to turn around the fabric and do the same thing at the other end. You're making a notch, a V notch. You're going towards where the stitch began, but not exactly on it, about 1/8, like 1 stitch length away from it. The next thing that you're going to do is to turn these 2 pieces of strips inwards, because what we are going to do now is to first we're going to make a stitch to hold them down, and we're going to pin this down so it doesn't move, and then we're going to stitch directly onto that stitch that is there. We're going to start where it started and end where it ends. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We can see already our welt pocket coming into form. So we're stitching from there all the way to that point. And we're doing the same thing on the other side. Now the next thing that we're going to do is to close those 2 ends where we made the notch. So we're going to push that piece of fabric to the wrong side, and we're going to make a stitch to lock it in place so it cannot move. And that stitch will be from the beginning. You will see clearly where the stitch began on both sides of the welt, so you're just stitching the same from top to bottom. And we'll do the same thing at the other end. Now the next thing that we will do, if this was your garment that you were working with, you would put that extra piece of fabric at the back on the wrong side to close up your pocket. But because this is just a pocket by itself, I'm going to stitch it onto the front of it and turn it inside out because it's just a standalone pocket. There you have it. We have made our welt pocket. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and happy sewing.